Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this right now. This is not a joke. God says, this is about to happen in your house tonight, and you're about to fall asleep because you took open it quickly. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this right now. The sky has been shifting all day, and heaven is trying to reach you before midnight. Something strange has entered your environment because of what you took. You're about to fall into a sleep that isn't natural. You believe you're just tired, worn down from the emotional and physical weight you've been carrying. But what's approaching your house tonight is far more serious than weariness. There is a reason your dreams have been unusually vivid, disjointed, or even missing entirely. A spiritual infiltration is creeping through your space. What entered your bloodstream, what touched your energy field, has created a door. And that door is about to be used by a force not from this world. You may not even recall what you consumed, whether it was through food, a scent, a pill, or something spoken into your mind. But the intention behind it was planted weeks ago. Someone handed it to you smiling, acting innocent. But their energy told a different story. God saw it. Tonight is not a usual night. The ticking clock past midnight will not just mark time. It will mark entry. What waits for you when your eyelids close is not sleep. It's an invitation. And a force is waiting to respond. You've been having small, almost unnoticeable symptoms. A little dizziness here. A strange sensation in your chest there. But when combined with what you've been unknowingly exposed to, it becomes a supernatural channel for something dark. Archangel Michael says heaven has sent backup. But they are blocked unless you acknowledge the truth. That something has already been introduced into your sacred space. The light cannot enter a room that pretends everything is fine. What's going to happen in your house tonight will make sense only if you stay alert. Your body will try to force you to sleep before it begins. But it's not natural tiredness. That's the manipulation at work. One of the reasons this is happening is because of a conversation you had earlier this week. Someone tried to convince you to let your guard down. They may have talked about peace, love, or healing. But their words had another layer, one designed to program your subconscious. And the moment you agreed, even slightly, you opened a channel. That opening is being used tonight. Archangel Michael says it's urgent. Light needs to be called in immediately before this presence arrives. You might hear sounds in your room. Things shifting on your table or sudden silence between noises. It will feel like time slows or distorts. That's not imagination. That's spiritual activity crossing realms. The person who initiated this isn't far from you. They want you to believe they are harmless. But God says their intention is to drain you, leave you confused, and then take over what is rightfully yours. Your peace, your destiny, and even your memory. Your house is marked by something unseen. Not forever, but tonight. A final attempt is being made to access you, before you awaken fully into your divine authority. You are close, very close to a breakthrough, which is why this force is so desperate. If you fall asleep too soon without awareness, you may experience a dream that looks beautiful on the surface. But inside that dream will be a contract. Something your soul is not supposed to agree to. God says the dream will come disguised as comfort. A loved one, a familiar place, even a romantic energy may appear. But in that space, your true essence will be tricked into giving permission. Stay awake. Or if you must sleep, speak divine authority over your home, your mind, and your body. Do not go to bed in silence. Do not turn off the lights with unresolved tension or worry. Claim your space before your head touches the pillow. Archangel Michael says, check your bedroom, especially under the bed, inside corners, and by mirrors or reflective surfaces. Certain materials, like glass, metal, and even your phone screen, can hold the residual energies trying to mirror you back incorrectly. Someone placed a thought form inside your house. The thought form has been growing. That is why you've been feeling watched even when no one is around. It was seeded through something they left behind. A gift, a food item, a small object that didn't seem out of place, but it was spiritually coded. Go back in memory. What changed in the atmosphere after you received it? Tonight, that object will act as a signal. Once you're asleep, the room will respond to its frequency. Shadows will not move the way they should. Sounds will feel like whispers even in silence. This is not to cause fear, but awareness. Fear gives the force more power, but awareness shatters its illusion. You're not powerless. You are chosen. That's why this is happening. The spirit that's trying to reach you knows what you carry. It wants to rewrite your future by attacking your rest. Because your dreams are where heaven speaks most clearly, and if they disrupt it, they can delay your purpose. You'll start to notice glitches if it gets access. Missing time, repeating numbers. Dreams you can't remember, but wake up from drained. You may think you're just overwhelmed, but you're under spiritual surveillance. Archangel Michael says, don't ignore the patterns. The flickering lights, the technology behaving strangely, the phone calls where no one speaks. The sudden urge to sleep at times when you're usually energetic. It's not just you they're after. They want what you're connected to. Your lineage, your gift, your breakthrough. If they can't take it, they will try to suppress it. That is why this night is so serious. God says they waited until you were vulnerable. You've been emotionally stretched, and someone is counting on your silence to finish their ritual. They will act as if they're still your friend. But behind the scenes, they've spoken your name during a spiritual transaction, one that involved exchange. What they lack, they wish to pull from you. Check your house for cold spots. Stand in the doorway and speak authority. Cleans the air not just physically, but vibrationally. Don't leave items from unknown sources lying around. If you dream tonight of water, doors, babies, or animals, those aren't normal dreams. Those are encoded visions from the realm trying to insert suggestions. Wake up immediately if you see distorted symbols. If you feel your bed shaking subtly or hear soft tapping while you're alone, pay attention. The veil is thin tonight. Something is trying to bypass your awareness. You may even find yourself wanting to justify everything. It's probably nothing. That's exactly what they want you to think. But God says your house is the site of a spiritual confrontation tonight. They plan to enter the atmosphere between 200 a.m. to 300 a.m. That's the most vulnerable window. You need to speak into your home before that hour. And take control of the narrative they are trying to write for you. Archangel Michael says the moment you feel the air shift, or a strange sensation in your chest, don't ignore it. It's your soul trying to alert you, before your conscious mind catches up. An elder spirit is present to assist you tonight. Someone from your ancestral line, who is on assignment to guard your energy. But they can't act fully unless you call them in. You're not in this alone. Heaven is mobilized, but spiritual laws require agreement. Speak boldly into your room tonight, and reject what you did not agree to with full knowledge. The substance you took, no matter how small, was used as a channel. You need to spiritually disconnect from it, and command that no foreign presence remains. They wanted your sleep. They wanted your stillness. Because in your stillness, you radiate power. And in that power, you unlock destinies not just for yourself, but for others tied to your obedience. This is why the attack is personal and subtle. They knew they couldn't destroy you in the daylight. So, they chose the night. But now you know. And knowing breaks the silence they rely on. Sound, your voice is your first weapon. Speak light, speak fire, speak rejection. Archangel Michael says, this is your time to reclaim your house. Emaru. Adbud. Tonight you stop running and begin rising. Don't underestimate your body's attempt to shut down tonight. If it suddenly becomes heavy, if your head starts nodding before your usual time, interrupt it. Ida. Wood. Rain. Tobai. There are angels stationed just outside your room. But they need your voice as the key. The energy of command opens their access. You are not losing your mind. You are waking up from their illusion. That's why tonight feels different. It is different. You weren't supposed to read this. Forces tried to stop you. But something in your spirit pulled you here. And now you hold the truth. Everything that's been happening around you makes sense now. The energy shifts. The spiritual tension. A sudden emotional wave. What was planned for tonight can still be stopped. But only if you rise. Only if you speak. Only if you reject the lie. Because what you took is not the end. But it must be broken before midnight strikes. God has given you the alert. And this is your moment to stand. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description, or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site, you are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices. But it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water. For those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. A shift begins subtly. A breeze with no wind. A sound with no source. A presence that can't be explained, but is felt so deeply that your soul almost jolts in recognition and in warning. If you ignore the feeling, it will grow stronger. You'll start to feel watched, as if 1,000 invisible eyes are just out of sight, hiding in corners, behind furniture, or even in the folds of your own shadow. You might find yourself waking up suddenly at 2:12 a.m., 3:03 a.m., or 4:14 a.m. These are not random numbers. These are markers, signals from the divine realm that your spiritual alarm clock is being triggered for a reason. Archangel Michael says, the ones who tried to deceive you knew what they were doing. But they didn't count on your spirit remembering who you are. You are not just anyone. They tried the wrong person. God says, the object you touched, the message you believed in, the drink you accepted, it all had layers. It looked ordinary, but it had an assignment attached to it. That assignment was meant to pull you under a blanket of confusion, so you wouldn't ask, so you wouldn't fight, so you wouldn't know. But your instincts are still alive. They've been trying to speak even through silence. If you feel pulled to sage your home, do it. If you feel pulled to light candles and declare protection, do it. If you feel the urge to cry for no reason tonight, let it happen. It is your soul breaking a curse. Your house is not just wood, paint and brick. It is a spiritual container. And when uninvited guests enter, even silently, they begin to rearrange the spiritual furniture. But that ends tonight. They are trying to reach you through dreams, but also through sound waves, and even the television you leave on before sleep. That's why random shows start speaking directly to your spirit. It's not coincidence. They tried to bury your intuition beneath noise. But God says the silence is now your sword. When it gets still tonight and you hear nothing, understand this. It means something is about to break. The silence will not be peaceful at first. It will feel eerie, like something is holding its breath before launching. That's the moment you speak over your space with fire and clarity. Declare anything that is not from God, I send you back. You have no right to my home. You have no right to my mind. You have no right to my body or my sleep. I revoke all accidental agreements now. Archangel Michael says, even if you don't remember what you took, heaven does. And heaven is intervening because your destiny cannot be hijacked by something so deceptively small. Check your mirror tonight before you sleep. Gaze at yourself. Say your name out loud. Because your reflection is being targeted, your self-image, your power, your identity. You'll know something was watching if you catch movement behind you in your peripheral vision. Or if you feel your skin prickle when the lights are dimmed. Or if you see the clock flash a repeated number again. This is not coincidence. This is infiltration. You must reject what entered through the subconscious. Cleans the air. Clap your hands in every corner. Open your windows and declare, I return what isn't mine. They want you asleep by 12:45 a.m. Because that's the window they've chosen to project the illusion. It will feel like a peaceful drift into rest. But it's a counterfeit stillness. God says, if you fight it, they cannot enter. If you stir yourself up with truth, they cannot lay claim. If you interrupt their timing with divine timing, their plan crumbles. Someone who knows you has been monitoring you through digital screen, through energy, through the words they said with a smile, but their heart didn't match. And that person is connected to the source of tonight's attack. Their jealousy opened the door, but your authority can close it fully, permanently. You might feel cold even in heat. That's because your home is experiencing temperature shifts due to spiritual presence. Your pets may act unusual. They see what you don't. If your dog barks at nothing, if your cat stares at the wall, if your baby cries at an invisible figure, trust that something is being stirred. Place something of spiritual weight at your window or door tonight, a prayer, a white cloth, a spoken word. Do not leave these entrances unguarded. They are not entering through force. They are entering through passive invitation, but you can revoke that. Archangel Michael says, the last time this was attempted, you resisted just enough to delay it. But they came back more clever this time with a softer tactic, with a disguised hand. But the light in you is older than their schemes. The divine placed inside you a sensor, something that activates when darkness tries to lie to you. And that's why you're reading this right now. This is not about paranoia. It's about prophetic precision. God gave you this awareness so that your legacy won't be derailed by midnight sabotage. Speak over your sleep tonight. Put your phone away 15 minutes earlier. Don't scroll aimlessly. Watch for patterns that drain you. Because what feeds your soul before sleep matters. They have marked your bedroom. But now, mark it with fire. Speak over your pillows, your windows, and your ceiling. Call your space back into alignment. Say, every frequency that does not serve my soul, leave now. Every shadow with no permission, be exposed and silenced. This is my domain. I sleep under divine authority. Not deception. If you feel a weight on your chest while lying down, sit up. Don't dismiss it. If your dreams turn into chases or dark rooms, wake up. Drink water, say your name aloud. Reclaim your space. What was meant to drain you will backfire tonight. You are being watched. But now, you are also watching back. And the one who planted this fear is trembling. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, the entire atmosphere will feel different. If you respond to this warning, you will feel lighter. You will go more aware. Because you disrupted their frequency. God says, the moment you engage spiritually, you shift the outcome. This was not punishment, it was a test. And you have passed it simply by being willing to face it. You'll know you did the right thing when someone reaches out tomorrow with a strange message. Or something gets cancelled unexpectedly. Or you find something in your house you didn't realize was there. That's confirmation. The unraveling has begun. Archangel Michael says, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of your clarity. Tonight will mark a before and after in your spiritual journey. You were always put under, lulled into sleep by something so small, so subtle, but you've been chosen for more than dreams. You are meant to walk in power, and that power begins now. In your home, in your space, in your voice, beg back what was yours. Cleanse the air, open the windows, and rest, not in silence but in victory. As the hours move closer to midnight, the energy thickens. The force outside your home isn't waiting like a thief in the night. It's pacing. Frustrated. Restless. Because what it expected to enter easily is now meeting a wall of light it didn't anticipate. You shifted something by simply being aware. The moment you opened this message, heaven recorded your alignment. You broke the silence that darkness was counting on to maintain its illusion. Archangel Michael says, they will try to send a final attempt in disguise. You may hear a loved one's voice calling your name, but slightly distorted. You may feel the touch of a hand that feels familiar but off. Do not accept it. Speak against it. Deny it access. They are imitators, pretenders, skilled at cloaking energy and emotion. But your soul knows the difference between divine presence and a spiritual imposter. Here's your gift. A discomfort is protection. Something in your body may try to rebel tonight. A sudden chill, an unexplained ache, a dream that begins pleasant but becomes disturbing. These are signals. Let them remind you. You are not crazy. You are sensitive to what most people ignore. That's your gift. That's your weapon. And that's why they came for your sleep. You need not be afraid. That's their game. What they can't control, they try to frighten. But fear is a broken tool in your hands now. You know too much. Check your corners again before you sleep. Speak into your mirror. Only truth is reflected here. Touch your walls and say, only light lives here. Walk your room barefoot and declare, I am grounded in divine protection. God says the plan against you was designed to delay, not destroy. Because they knew they couldn't take your soul. But they could sow your purpose. That was their hope. But now it's shattered. The person who gave you the object or said the word that triggered this somewhere tonight. They are restless. Their ritual is failing. The force they tried to activate is reversing. You might wake up to hear they've fallen ill. Or suddenly want to confess. Or mysteriously disappear from your life. That is the echo of divine justice. What was meant for harm will now be exposed. Archangel Michael says, spiritual law has been activated because you stood in your authority. You didn't cower. You confronted. And that, above all else, terrified them more than any prayer ever could. They counted on your exhaustion, on your routine, on your silence. But you shattered the rhythm tonight. And now, every item they programmed, every shadow they positioned, every thought they tried to implant, it's crumbling. Don't be surprised if tonight you feel heat in your palms, or pressure behind your eyes, or tingling in your feet as divine alignment. Restoring your nervous system. You are re-anchoring. The angels are adjusting your energy grids. The coding around your home is being rewritten. Heaven's firewall is being installed. And you are the reason for this shift. Because you said yes to truth, God says everything from this night forward begins to bend in your favor. Your home is returning to light. Your body is returning to peace. Your sleep will return to revelation. They tried to take your rest, but they failed. You now sleep not under threat, but under power. You'll dream new dreams. Clear, brilliant, insightful. Visions will return. Names will be revealed. Patterns will be decoded. You'll wake up and write down what you remember, because heaven will begin speaking in your sleep again. The portal they opened is now closed. The hand they tried to extend has been burned by the very fire you called down. And your home now stands as a monument of divine resistance. You are no longer a target. You are a testimony. Archangel Michael says, tonight is recorded in the heavens. It will be remembered as the night you reclaimed your territory. When they try again, they will find no door. When they whisper again, your ears will be deaf to their frequency. When they try to use others around you, even their alliances will collapse. This moment changes your home, but it also changes your timeline. New doors will open after this. Delays will be lifted. Strength will return. You'll feel it in the morning. That clarity, that's your reward. Tonight, you refuse to fall, and now heaven rises in your defense. You are not alone. You never were. But tonight proves you are never without weapons. Your voice, your attention, your spiritual command. These are your swords. And now, because you stood firm, your house will be a place of healing, not haunting. A place of peace, not confusion. A place of expansion, not spiritual attacks. The ones who planned against you will soon be silent. Not because they choose to be, but because their voices hold no power anymore. You removed their access. You reclaimed your name. And tomorrow, when the sunlight hits your face, know this. You are free. The spiritual warfare that brewed over your house tonight wasn't by chance. It was calculated, planned, and rehearsed. And yet, you dismantled it without even leaving your room. That is what divine authority looks like. You were supposed to be silent. You were supposed to be overwhelmed. You were supposed to fall into a manipulated sleep, never knowing what energy was crawling over your dreams. But instead, you turned on the light, not just the physical one, but the one in the spiritual realm that blinds every dark force. Now they know. You're not someone to toy with. You're protected. And more importantly, you are activated. Your atmosphere is shifting now, even as you breathe. You might notice a new stillness in your space. Not the eerie kind, but the peaceful kind. The kind that tells demons they are unwelcome and angels they could rest. Archangel Michael says, the spiritual realm now knows your name. Not as a target, but as a guardian. You're no longer asleep to what they tried to do. And now everything changes. The person who cursed you through a subtle action is now feeling the backlash. Not because you cursed them back, but because heaven automatically reverses evil when light stands its ground. You may feel emotionally raw tomorrow. That's okay. That's your soul flushing out the residue. Drink water, clean your space, and walk through your home like a king or queen returned from battle. Because that's exactly what just happened. Look at your hands. They are no longer ordinary. They've touched authority tonight. Speak into them. Lay them on your door frames, on your chest, on your pillow. Everything you touch from now on will carry vibration. God says, your room is now marked in the spirit realm as a gate of light. Entities that once hovered, curious and hungry for your weakness, have been exiled. Even if someone tries to send more, it won't work. The opening is sealed. Their words will return to their own head. Their envy will rot within them. And their access to your home is now permanently denied. You'll start to notice the difference quickly. Your sleep will be deeper. Your clarity sharper. Your reaction to dishonesty faster. You'll feel when someone is lying. You'll sense danger before it shows up. You'll feel a new power in your steps. This isn't just about tonight. This was a threshold, a divine initiation. You are being pulled into a new level of awareness. Because what's coming in your life next requires spiritual sharpness. They knew it. That's why they attacked now. You're getting closer to something major, a blessing, a shift, a breakthrough that will ripple not just in your life, but across generations. What they tried to steal wasn't just sleep. It was legacy. They wanted to steal your clarity, your decision-making, your inner peace. Because when you're foggy, you delay destiny. But that fog has lifted permanently. You are not the same person who almost fell asleep an hour ago. Something rewired. Something awakened. And even the way you walk across the room now carries divine vibration. Archangel Michael says, this battle was a turning point. You'll look back on this moment months from now and realize this was the night heaven shifted your entire atmosphere. The object that carried the energy. You'll feel it when you touch it. It'll feel cold, unwelcoming, out of place. Trust your hand, trust your heart, trust your instinct, remove it, burn it, bury it, track it. But do not keep it. What was planted to open a portal must be taken seriously. It doesn't belong in a home that has now been sealed in fire. And be cautious over the next few days. You may receive calls, visits, messages from people who suddenly miss you or had a dream about you. These are not all innocent. Some of them are tests. Their words will feel warm. But listen to the energy behind them. Their intentions will feel softer. But your gut will tighten. Don't explain. Don't argue. Just protect your peace. God says, now that you've passed this test, your name is being elevated in the spirit. Angels are rejoicing. Your lineage is being restored. And a promise that was delayed is now being released. What does that mean? It means a long-held blockage has been broken. The force behind your financial, emotional, or relational delay has been cast out. What they whispered behind your back will now be shouted by heaven in your favor. What they took will return multiplied. What they broke will be healed by divine fire. The sleep you feared will become the dreamscape of visions. The home you doubted is now a stronghold. The body you felt was weak now holds armor forged in the spiritual realm. You will soon be called to help someone else who goes through the same. Because once you've walked through fire and returned glowing, you become a guide. Your story is now a sword. Archangel Michael says, rest now, but rest with victory in your chest. Let your last words tonight be power. Let your first thoughts tomorrow be light. Because you've done something few have the strength to do. You faced the invisible and won. Let no one confuse you again. Let no one make you doubt your senses. Let no one talk you out of your spiritual awareness. You were chosen for a reason. Tonight proved it, so go ahead, exhale deeply. Walk through your house one more time. Not in fear, but in boldness. Say it as loud as you need to. This home is clean. My sleep is sealed. My destiny is guarded. I serve no force but light. Every shadow watching you from a distance is now blinded. Every whisper behind your back now silenced. Every force that waited for your surrender has been rejected. You didn't fall tonight. You rose. You didn't sleep tonight. You fought. You didn't lose your power. You activated it. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of your new frequency. Your house is not just safe. It's sacred. Your bed is not just a place of rest. It's a throne of revelation. And you, beloved child of light, are now more powerful than ever. Archangel Michael says, this final part must reach deep into your spirit because your story has just been rewritten in the heavens. The timeline they tried to corrupt has been redirected. What was delayed has not been denied. It has only been purified. The strange heaviness in your chest that came and went, it wasn't just emotion. It was the residue of a battle between two realms fought silently, while you stood in your room holding divine ground. You felt like breaking down earlier this week for no clear reason. It wasn't weakness, it was interference. They knew what was coming. They wanted you soft, tired, distracted. But they failed. Your focus was enough to dismantle their plan. The force that tried to walk through your walls tonight wasn't just energy. It was an entity. It had been assigned to you by someone pretending to care. And now it stands powerless outside your house, unable to return, unable to explain why its mission failed. You might notice that person suddenly falls silent in your life, or acts awkward when they speak to you, or becomes extra curious about your sleep, your home, your dream. That's not concern. It's confusion. They know something went wrong on their side. Heaven covered you. You didn't just protect your room. You protected your timeline. This night marks the separation between your old story and your new chapter. The version of you that used to overthink, over-apologize, overextend. That version has been spiritually retired. And in its place stands someone sharper, wiser, louder in the spiritual realm than they ever realized. Archangel Michael says, your voice now echoes beyond this home. Your energy has expanded. You are now marked by heaven with a glow that blinds unclean watchers and repels spiritual eavesdroppers. Don't be surprised when electronics glitch around you in the next 24 hours. Your energy is recalibrating. Your aura is clearing. Your environment is adjusting to the light you've reclaimed. Even your pets will notice it. They'll rest near you, follow you more, or stare at the space behind you, as if watching invisible beings. They are seeing the angelic shield that now surrounds you fully. Walk differently from now on. The atmosphere bends when you enter a room. You don't have to prove who you were. Your energy says it first. The one who tried to silence your spirit has now fallen silent themselves. Their spell is broken. Their pathway to your soul has been shut. Their manipulation exposed. They may try one more time in disguise. Don't favor a softness. Don't believe their emotional script. Their mouth may say, I'm sorry. But their spirit still whispers harm. You are no longer allowed to play small. God says, because you stood firm tonight, you've been elevated. Not just spiritually, but energetically, prophetically, and generationally. Your children, your lineage, even your unborn descendants will be covered by what you did tonight. They won't have to fight this battle. You fought it for them. That's legacy. So, tonight, as your head finally touches your pillow, rest with the knowing that what was meant to destroy you has just crowned you. You're not just safe, you're sacred. You're not just watched, you're witnessed by heaven. And every shadow that thought it could tiptoe through your home is now running from the light you've ignited. Archangel Michael says, heaven is silent now, not because it's gone, but because it's standing guard. Nothing will enter your home tonight without permission from the Most High. The gates are sealed. The mirrors are cleared. The floors are holy. The walls are echoing your power back to you. From this moment forward, even your dreams will be different. They will carry codes, instructions, warnings wrapped in wisdom. You will wake up knowing things before they happen, seeing signs before they manifest. You'll begin to smell shifts in the air before change arrives. Your body will become a divine radar. Your mind will become a heavenly screen. And your house will become the safest place you've ever known. You didn't just survive an attack. You became untouchable. Heaven is proud of you. Your ancestors are proud of you. And God says, because you stood watch, I will now pour blessing where there was once danger. You'll feel it when you rise tomorrow. All tension will be gone. A strange fog will lift. The unspoken weight you've carried in your chest will dissolve. And what will remain is clarity, safety, peace, and favor. Yes, a favor. It begins with an email, a call, a message you weren't expecting. Doors that were closed suddenly crack open. This is the reward of spiritual alertness. The ones who laughed will fall silent. The ones who sent chaos will face divine consequence. And the one who doubted themselves most, you, has just stepped into a level of confidence that even darkness didn't see coming. Let your rest tonight be the deepest you had in months. Let your dreams be laced with golden light and divine signs. Let your sleep be your confirmation that everything has changed. And tomorrow, when you wake up, watch how the world responds to the new you. As the first rays of morning prepare to stretch across your window, know this: something irreversible has shifted. The battle that took place in silence will now echo in the physical. You may not see it with your eyes, but the spirit realm is no longer the same. Archangel Michael says, heaven has updated your spiritual file. Your name now carries weight. Every attempt to spiritually trespass against you from this moment forward will trigger divine retaliation. And not just for you, this covering will extend to your loved ones, your children, your partner. Even those unaware of the forces you just blocked will now rest under the umbrella of your obedience tonight. This was no ordinary night. This was a line in the sand, a spiritual decree. And you stood tall. You didn't bow to fear. You didn't surrender to sleep. You didn't give in to confusion. God says, now that you've proven faithful and alert, you're going to receive divine downloads, instructions, clear whispers at unexpected times. Don't ignore them. It may sound simple. Don't go there today. Call this person. Move that object. But these whispers are not random. They're protection keys to your next season. There will be more attacks in the future, but they won't come near you the same way again. The blueprint of your house has changed. It has been spiritually reinforced. The very energy of your voice now leaves marks in the invisible. Every time you speak with intention, the atmosphere responds. You are not just a person. You are a portal. Archangel Michael says, your hands now radiate with holy charge. When you touch things, they cleanse. When you hold people, they heal. When you release, curses break. Don't rush into conversations tomorrow. Observe. Notice, let your new awareness lead you. You'll see things you never noticed before. Glances, hesitation in speech, sudden changes in people's tone. Some will be afraid to look you in the eye. That's not guilt alone, it's exposure. They sense what's changing. They know their plans bounced off something stronger than they ever expected. God says this was only phase 1. What comes next is activation of promise. Blessings that were hanging, paused midair, are now descending. The blessing was waiting on your alignment. And now that you've shown authority, nothing can block it. Prepare to receive things you didn't chase. Resources, opportunities, divine alignments. People you forgot about will suddenly reappear different, awakened, humble. The spiritual world is shifting in your favor. Even the demons that were sent to study you are now reporting back that you cannot be touched. You're guarded. And heaven has increased surveillance around your destiny. They will try smaller methods, gossip, heady conflict, misunderstandings, but you will spot them instantly. And the peace within you will override their attempts. Archangel Michael says, continue cleansing daily. Not out of fear but maintenance. Keep your frequency high. Don't allow familiar spirits to sneak in through television, conversations, or compromise. Your house is no longer neutral ground. It's holy ground. And that means everything inside it must now rise to your level. Your thoughts, your speech, your habits, even your guests. You'll start to feel uncomfortable around people who don't carry peace. That's your soul rejecting mismatched energy. Don't force yourself to stay where your spirit wants to flee. This is the cost of divine elevation, and the reward supernatural favor. You'll walk into places, and be offered things you didn't ask for. Doors will swing open with your name already written on the inside. Promotions, approvals, inheritances, and unexpected support will flow like rivers. Why? Because heaven saw that when the enemy came quietly in the night, you didn't fold. You fought. You won. The circle around you may grow smaller, but don't mourn it. They were removed because they were doors to delay. What remains now is pure, solid, destined. God says, the light you activated in your home tonight will echo into the homes of your children, even unborn ones. Generational curses that operated silently for decades just lost their final access point. You are now the ancestor someone will thank 50 years from now. You are now the intercessor who shifted bloodlines. You are now the soul who said, not in my house, not on my watch, not under my name. So, sleep now, not because you're tired, but because you're triumphant. Let your body melt into peace. Let your chest rise in divine rhythm. Let your pillow hold the dreams of someone who just won a war the world will never know was even fought. Let your room breathe with light. Let your bed be soaked in peace. Let your soul be filled with honor. Because tonight, child of God, you didn't just survive darkness. You made it run. Archangel Michael says, now that the spirit realm has witnessed your rise, the universe is recalibrating to support your next steps. You won't walk the same path again, because it's no longer the same. What once delayed you has been uprooted, exposed, and removed. You stepped into the frequency of the awakened. And in that frequency, everything responds differently. The wind feels clearer. Time bends in your favor. And people who once ignored you will now stare in awe. But they won't know why. They'll sense something, but won't be able to name it. Because what covers you now can't be described by language. It's divine force, it's heavenly echo. It's the unmistakable vibration of a soul who stood up in darkness and claimed back their throne. From this point forward, every object in your home becomes a witness. Your bed sheets have absorbed the energy of breakthrough. Your walls have heard your voice command the atmosphere. Your mirror now reflects the version of you that the enemy never wanted to be revealed. Your hallway is now a runway for angelic movement. Because when you walk through it, heaven walks with you. Even your roof is now a spiritual dome of protection. No curse, projection, hex, or word spell can penetrate the canopy that was just laid over your home. They will try, but fail. They will whisper, but be unheard. God says, now you're ready to receive. Not crumbs, not confusion, not delay, but divine release. Expect the message that changes your week. Expect the call that shifts your plans. Expect the opportunity that seems too sudden to be real, but that is real. It's divine compensation. And as it comes, you will feel it. You'll know it. Your chest will burn with confirmation. You'll smile without knowing why. You'll cry and laugh at the same time. Because your spirit will remember. This is what it feels like to win in silence. Archangel Michael says, be mindful who you share this with. Not everyone can handle your breakthrough. Not everyone deserves to hear what God did in your bedroom while they slept through their own storm. Some will envy. Others will copy. A few may try to claim they helped. But you will know, and heaven will know, that it was you who stood firm. Let your results speak for you now. Let your light do the talking. Let the peace that radiates from your skin silence every tongue that doubted you. Even nature will respond differently to you. You'll see butterflies, birds, or repeated animals around you. They are signs. Markers, messages from the spirit world that your alignment has shifted. Watch how people start opening up to you. Watch how others suddenly come to you for insight or guidance. It's not random. They are being drawn to the light you ignited tonight. The light that pushed back centuries of darkness, in one single act of spiritual courage. Don't be surprised if your sleep becomes deeper, your dreams more vivid, or your intuition almost immediate. That's the new realm you're walking in. You are now what some call untouchable, and your house is now what heaven calls sealed. You didn't just protect your peace. You multiplied it. The sound of your voice echoing into that room tonight created shock waves that knocked the breath out of the enemy. That spiritual force won't try the same trick again. You've elevated, and in this new elevation, the old tactics no longer work. So, as you finally rest tonight, and you will rest deeply, remember this: you were not chosen randomly. You were handpicked, heaven approved, and spiritually forged for this moment. They thought you were weak. They thought you were too tired to fight. They thought you would sleep through this night unaware. But now they tremble. Because they saw what happens when someone remembers their divine identity. They saw the glow return to your aura. They saw the fire in your words. They saw you rise in the middle of their plan and set fire to everything they built in the dark. So, breathe now. Feel your lungs fill with victory. Feel your skin warm with angelic presence. Feel your heartbeat align with divine rhythm. You did what few dare to do. You faced a silent battle. And you didn't just survive, you conquered. And now, heaven celebrates you. The angels are singing your name. Your ancestors are watching with tears in their eyes. The scroll of your destiny has just turned its page. A new chapter begins now. Archangel Michael says, now that your soul has passed through the fire and your house has been sealed by heaven, your reward will begin flowing in ways that will humble even your strongest doubts. The forces that once whispered against you have now gone mute. Their access has not only been denied, it has been revoked permanently. You are walking into a sacred silence now. Not the silence of abandonment, but the silence of spiritual authority. It's the kind of quiet that terrifies the dark and empowers the light. Because in that silence, heaven whispers. And when heaven whispers, destinies are reshaped. You will begin to hear things others can't hear. Not with your ears, but your spirit. You'll sense timing, danger, opportunity, and truth before they show up. This is the divine sensitivity activated by your obedience. God says, your discernment is now upgraded. What once confused you will now appear obvious. What once deceived you will now be fully exposed. No more stumbling in the dark. No more believing half-truths. No more apologizing for what your spirit picks up before your mind understands. You've been unlocked. You've been anointed. And you've been assigned. This battle wasn't just for protection. It was for positioning. You are now where you were always meant to be. Standing in clarity, crowned by truth, surrounded by divine power. The sleep that's about to embrace you now will not be ordinary. It will be sacred. You will be wrapped in light, watched over by fire, protected by an unseen army. The enemy will scan for new openings, but what they find will confuse them. Because you've shifted to a new level. And in this new level, the rules have changed. You now have angelic proximity. Heaven closer than breath. The vibrations in your home will now repel anything not sent by God. People who used to linger will suddenly leave. Conversations that used to drain you will vanish. Even digital energy, text messages, calls, online interactions will begin to filter themselves. God says, the veil has lifted. The manipulation has ended. The spiritual fog is gone. You can see now. And now that you can see, you will lead. You may not feel like a leader, but you are. Because leaders aren't made by applause. They're made by resistance. And you didn't just resist tonight. You reigned. Archangel Michael says, do not look back. Don't revisit what God already shut down. Don't re-engage the voice of someone whose spiritual axis was divinely cut off. Let them watch from afar. Let them wonder what happened. Let them feel the emptiness where your energy used to be. That emptiness is their consequence. Your peace is your justice. Your glow is your testimony. Heaven is not done. Tonight was the breaking. Tomorrow begins the building. You will start to attract without effort. What you once begged for will now knock. Not because you changed your tactics, but because you changed your alignment. Divine wealth, divine love, divine connections, divine health, it's all aligning in the realm of spirit. You'll see the proof in the days to come. Through strange coincidences, timely favors, and doors that were once bolted shut flying open. The very people who doubted you will hear your name. In rooms you never entered. They will speak of your feats and not even understand how it happened. It happened because you obeyed the warning. It happened because you stood guard when the world told you to sleep. It happened because you believed your soul when your mind was unsure. And that belief, that faith, that divine bravery, it has rewritten the story not only for you, but for everyone who comes after you. You have no idea how many timelines were saved tonight, because you refused to fold. Archangel Michael says that ripple of obedience just echoed into realms you cannot even imagine. Whole bloodlines just shifted, generational curses just shattered, and unseen enemies just fled with no plan to return. So now, close your eyes. Not in fear, but in full power. Let your body relax knowing it is surrounded. Let your home rest knowing it is guarded. Let your future breathe knowing it is unfolding in divine timing. You did not miss your moment. You became the moment, and when morning comes, you will rise lighter. You will speak clearer. You will move differently because something ancient was unlocked inside you tonight. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. And now, you'll never go back to who you were before this awakening. You don't need to explain it to anyone. Just live it. Walk in it. And let your results be the proof. You are about to enter your divine future, but remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary, where we discuss the Word daily, and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary, where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.